This video is going to detail creating these folder storage boxes from the file. These are the perfect size for some of your embossing folders, but could be resized to accommodate so many other things. We're going to also talk through utilizing chipboard, and right now my chipboard is out adjusting to the humidity and temperatures so that it can be cut. As you should know by now, it does need to set out for 24 hours. So let's go through the file first. So here is our Cricut file. This section is for the file boxes, and as it states here, you're going to make 3. The lower box here is your outer box, and that you're going to make 1. Then over here to the right, we have these green file pieces, and those are mats and layers that we can cut from paper or adhesive vinyl, even contact paper, and adhere to the exterior of our boxes to decorate them. So for right now, I'm going to take this group and I'm going to hide it, and I'm also going to hide this group. And I'm going to go back to our original boxes. Now, here is the file box, and it says we need to make 3. The pieces are here. You have 2 sides, the base, an inner base, a back, and a front. And that, again, we're going to do 3. So I'm going to leave it grouped, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then this one, we need just 1, so I don't need to mess with that one. Now, the reason I only duplicated this once is because I have already made one of these boxes. So I'm going to ungroup, and the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all of the words. Now, if you don't save your progress while you're doing this, then you can go ahead and just exit out of it, and your words and everything will still be there. Or another choice is to, if you have to walk away from it as you're working, save it as a working copy and let your original remain intact, and that way you're not going to, again, lose the verbiage that I've added here for the directions. So again, I'm going to ungroup this, and we're going to get rid of the words. Another thing is the words are not attached, so they will pop all on a separate mat, and you can just skip that mat if you so choose. So you have a couple options there. Okay, so now I think I have everything gone, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Make It. And again, these are the pieces that are just going to be cut from chipboard. And I do want to do a little bit of moving pieces around, as I've explained in previous videos. The reason that it won't put this triangle in that spot automatically is because what the program sees is that entire box that is now highlighted in blue. And when you click on this one, what it sees is an entire square. So it does not recognize the fact that this will indeed fit right into this space here. And also that these pieces will fit nicely together here. So I'm going to run through real quick here, and I'm going to just do some adjusting to try to get as much out of the materials as I can. Oh, before I want to change this back to 11 by 11 because it is chipboard, so I do need to obviously start this process over. But I think we can certainly get much better use out of this than what Cricut is doing. So I'm going to go here to the second one. I'm going to click on that piece, and I'm going to move to another mat. I'm going to add it to mat 1. All right, so there is that piece. And let's see here. I'm going to go back to 2, and I'm going to move this guy over to mat 1. confirm. And he will definitely fit right in there. And so now this one is mat 3. And mat 4 and mat 5. So I'm going to go ahead and play with this, and when I get these set, I'll pop back and show you where I have all the pieces to get the best possible arrangement. Okay, so I want to come back in and show you how I ended up arranging these on the screen here. So you have the bigger pieces. I put the 4 bigger pieces on 2 mats, and then I rearranged the smaller pieces in. So I have this mat with corner braces and one of the back pieces. This mat has again a back piece and then 2 of the smaller rectangles. The third mat has the sides of the larger box and the rest of the triangular pieces, the braces, and then the other rectangular pieces. And then on the last mat, we're going to use just the corner for these 2 pieces. So now I have it all lined up on the individual mats, and I can go ahead and just click on continue. Load my mats. Remember, you need to use your purple mat, and then you also need to use painter's tape or masking tape to tape it down to the mat to make sure it is well adhered. Then I'm going to load it into the maker, and I generally check it at about 12 to 14 passes to see if indeed it has cut it through. And I don't think I've ever really had to go even to 16. I know I've never let it run to the full 20 passes. So that is my next step, and then I will be back to show you the pieces and how we put it together. So now we are going to go through and assemble one of the inner file boxes. So the first thing you want to do is take the 2 bottom pieces and assemble those so that the smaller of the 2 is centered on top of the larger one. That is going to give stability to your box and your sides when you do put this together. So I'm going to use E6000. I had actually done this originally with the hot glue gun, but I did not love the fit, and so we're going to go back and we're going to give this a shot with some E6000. You do hear my maker running in the background. It's still cutting out the big box, and I'm about ready to stop it because it is on pass number 14. And I find that that is about all it needs. So we're going to hit pause, and I'm going to eject that. And there we are. So that's all set. So this process does take a bit longer, but what you are in effect going to do is once you've centered the smaller base piece on top of this one, then you're going to go ahead and assemble the sides. And then your front and back pieces fit inside of the 2 side pieces. So you're just going to go around and glue these all in place. So once this is set up a bit, I'll come back and we will do the next section. Okay, so I did lay it down. It seemed to be easier to keep it stationary while it started to set up, and it's still not really where I would like it, but I'm going to go ahead and pop this side on as well. So this is actually the back strip. It is the long thin strip that you have cut 3 of, and this does go inside of the the side piece, and it goes up against that inner piece that we glued to the base, so that it does position everything nicely for you. And again, so there is that side. I can go ahead and I can also put in this side, which I'm going to do right now. Do have some remnants from that hot glue that I tried and did not love, so I'm just working on getting that off there. And then once I have these all assembled, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and spray paint them, and then I can decorate them with the decorative pieces that I have included in the file for you. So we'll see how we can make this pretty to go with my craft room. Now my room is red, white, and black, so it obviously will go somewhere along that theme. And again, I am placing it up against that inside piece and right along the very edge of that side, and just going to hold it in place for a couple minutes. I'm going to let this set up really well before I go ahead and add this last piece here, which will then close up this file box, giving us this result. So that's how you assemble the three inside file boxes. And as I say, once this sets up, I will go ahead and add this one on, and then I will do the third one, and then I'll come back and we will assemble the outer box together. Okay, let's start assembling the outer box. So we have two rectangular pieces that are real close in size. Those are going to be the base of the box and the inside base. You have a piece that is 3 inches high. That will be the front of your box. The 4-inch high is the back of your box. And then, of course, the curved pieces are your sides. These will all set on top of the larger base and be positioned and held by the smaller inside base. And now the sides line up with the inside piece so that your front and your back cover the edges, so that when you're looking at this from the front, you're not going to see the seam. You're going to have a nice smooth finish. The seam will be on the side, and they are the same height, but you're going to have a seam showing on the side, not on the front. So that is how these will be assembled. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get some glue on the back of this piece, and then I'm going to pause, because I'm going to want it to set up and not slide around on me. And this one I could use hot glue on. I did for the other boxes, but I'm just going to do it with E6000 since the battery for my glue gun is currently charging. You do need to center this very well. That's another advantage with the E6000, because you do have a little bit of play with it. And make sure that you are lined up on all of the edges. And we're good there. That one looks good. That side, I think I'm pretty square. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put something with a little bit of weight on this to hold this in place. And once this sets up, I'll be back and we'll go ahead and assemble some more pieces. Okay, the bottom has set up, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to glue the back section on, and then brace this so that it sets up and we can move on to the next. So the piece that is 4 inches tall will be your back section, and again, you're going to line it up to the edges and to that center support piece, and then hold it till it starts to set up, and then brace it until it is dry. Once that's done, I'll be back and we'll do the next section. Okay, so I think that with that back secured, I'm going to be able to go ahead and pop the other 3 sides on this today, and then we will get this setting up so that I can get it painted. So there is one side going on here, and I'm just going to set it in that little spot and then press it into place so it goes nice and tight up against that edge there. The spacing is set, and then flush against that back. And I'm going to just hold it in place for a little bit so that I have a nice grip. And then I'm going to continue to work my way all the way around. I will attach the other side. And then lastly, the front, which covers the ends of the sides. So I'll get that done, and I'll come back and give you an idea what that looks like. I wanted to include a couple of screenshots. So for one of the inside boxes, which you're cutting for chipboard, you can do some reconfiguring to make the best use of your materials. Remember that what Cricut sees is that this shape here is a full square. So it doesn't recognize the fact that you can put these 2 pieces in the same space. So this is how I laid it out to cut one box, and then there is the second piece. And as you can see, out of the 11-inch sheet of chipboard, I have most of it left. I've only used about 3 1/4 inches. I do like to leave a little space to make it easier and to assure that I get a nice clean cut, because it is on chipboard. Now if this is paper, I wouldn't worry as much about it. So that is the chipboard pieces for the inside box. This blue is the outside box, and you can see here again there's a nice size piece there that you would be able to use for something else. And then again here you have a large portion of the sheet left over. And lastly, I'm going to zoom back here. This is how I laid out the paper that I cut. Now here you see I go a lot closer because again it is paper, it cuts cleaner. Then I used to decorate the individual boxes when I cut the paper. So I hope this helps as well and saves you a little bit on materials because they do get costly.